Hi everyone, my name's Emily Rich. I am the Director of Microsoft for Startups for Asia Pacific, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest who I'm going to let introduce themselves. Rizky, could you just let us know who you are, what your startup does?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Emily. Morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Rizky Anies. So my startup is in edutech, education that we bring to the school. So our solution is a software as a solution, as a service, a SaaS service that we deliver to the school for digitalization of the schooling environment.
And what's your startup called for everyone on the
Oh yeah, sorry about that. My startup called GREDU.
GREDU? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. And I think we're going to have a discussion about, about you, about your business, about your expansion plans, all of that kind of fun stuff. So, starting off with a just right off the bat,
Sure
what
thing.
are the biggest challenges that you're facing today in your business?
Yeah, right now our biggest challenges is the on manpower. So we are looking to expand our existence or our presence within the local region, right? So right now we are only in Jakarta, Indonesia. So essentially, we want to go towards the other big cities in Indonesia, and we are lacking in manpower to do so. So right now we are grilling to do that as the market is actually ready to receive this sort of like a solution, right, due to the COVID. So essentially, we are right now lacking in manpower to actually go to the market. Because again, when we go to the market, there is this challenges whereby our people, our ground sales team need to actually meet people face to face, right? With the current climate, it become a concern. It becomes a restriction because of the pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another one of my questions actually was, how has COVID affected or transformed your business? And I think you've you've answered it already in a way. It's has it been more affected than transformative for you? Have you definitely seen that it's been more of a challenge than it? I know for some startups it's been this great thing that's happened. And for others, they've really been affected by it. And I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there a little bit, where you're not able to meet people in person, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. So it definitely has been transformed, right? For the better and for the worse as well. I mean, for the better in an instance whereby the awareness, as I mentioned before, right? Since COVID, before COVID, there was a question, right? Whether or not school need digitalization. But after COVID, those question is gone. The awareness of the school in terms of the needs of digitalization has been pushed forward by at least 2 years, right? At least in Indonesia. So they no longer ask the question whether or not they need digitalization. They need the solution, but what type of solution that is right for them, right? But on the other side, there's a negative as well, right? Essentially, when you talk to the school, you need to have you need to have a presence, right, face to face, because they don't often go towards the digital route, especially during the meeting. So that is the main challenges in terms of meeting people in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also been a positive in a sense that it's forcing people to work in this digital environment.
Definitely, definitely. That's the big one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. And what would you say would be the impact of, you're a part of the Highway to 100 Unicorns program.
Mhm.
What would what would be the impact of that program to to your country in Indonesia, and impact on driving economic growth? How do you see these programs, such as Highway to 100, in transforming some of those things for the better?
Definitely. So we just have a talk as well with the mentors from Highway, and then our eyes were open because of the sort of like the infrastructure and the capability that Microsoft has to offer in terms of a startup like ours, especially that we are just starting to grow and starting to scale, and then with the restriction in the market, especially as I mentioned before. With the deal making, the approachability towards the market, right? The scalability in terms of technology, And Microsoft has helped a lot in terms of that as well. For example, in terms of the scalability, as I mentioned before, they offer a sales team to actually collaborate in terms of selling to the market as well. And you know the approach of Microsoft is not, doesn't go with just Indonesian market, but towards all of Southeast Asia as well, right, all over the world. And then essentially you are looking at the technological stack as well. We have a need in terms of sort of like creating a video, chatting, social networking in terms of the within the product that we have as well. And Microsoft have that as well in Teams, right? So we don't have to make it, we just have to integrate it, and then we can sell together as well. So those kind of things really helps a lot in terms of going to the market faster, and then especially with a trustworthy name. When you go to a school, right, you need to have some sort of a sort of like a presence, right? At least they know you, who you are. They don't know who's GREDU is, right? But essentially, when we talk to them and we mention that we're from Microsoft or we are with Microsoft, and then they'd be like, "Oh, I know Microsoft. Okay, then let's go. Let's make a deal." So that's very helpful as well.
Yeah, I think that's we hear that a lot, and I think that's one of the things that when we ask, and I mean you've answered it. It's like when we ask people, where can we help the most? It's almost partly the branding, the name, the security that comes behind that, and you already come in as a startup, as a Microsoft partner straight away. You come in as a Microsoft partner, and I think that's a really powerful thing. What talking about that and the technology, what are some of the key criteria for you when you're making technical decisions for your company? So when you're going out and you're making technology decisions and you're deciding, you know, what software are you going to use? What stack are you going to use? What cloud provider are you going to use? What goes through your head? What are the key criteria for you?
Definitely. For us, it's very easy because our target market is very targeted, right, in terms of the school area or the school environment. So the teachers, first and foremost, the one that is actually using our product. Again, there's the teachers, the students, and the parents as well. But again, the teacher is the heaviest. So essentially, when we go and then decide it in terms of technology, we're looking at them. Well, we talk to them in terms of like, what are you comfortable with? What do you want? What do you need? And this part, Microsoft helps a lot as well. I mean, in every teacher that we ask, what do you use? Oh, we use Microsoft Office. We use this. We use that. So essentially, that also help us make a decision in terms of collaborating with Microsoft and then putting Microsoft in the forefront in terms of our selling and our technology as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's what they're used to. It's what they've been using the whole time,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier. It's an easier sell. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, in terms of the the education sector now is obviously just massive. What are you seeing as the next big growth opportunities for your startup within this area?
Yeah, definitely. So it's heavy personalization within the school environment. So I think that's the next big step, right? So they're aware right now digitalizing the schooling environment. So right now the next step for us is to create more personalization in terms of the education, right? From the teaching itself until the education of the students itself, right? So essentially they will know how you're progressing, analytical that is actually come automatically for the students and for the teachers as well. So the heavy personalization to deliver analytical and maybe content or other services, that will be the next step for us.
Yeah, great. And is that in relation to, some of the key trends that you're seeing in market? Is that have you sort of like how did you come to that conclusion? Were you looking at the market and looking at key trends and seeing how your startup can address some of those key trends? And personalization is obviously a big one that I've heard come up quite a bit as well,
Yeah.
speaking with other edu companies. Are there other key trends that you're seeing in the market at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. So personalization is part of the big trend that we're seeing in terms of the education market as well. Because right now, in terms of education, people are going digital, right? But there is still a pain point. There is still sort of like an issue with it, right? The parents doesn't want the children to spend a lot of time in digital devices because they do other things. Other than that, people got bored. Students actually got frustrated and so on and so forth. So essentially, with this personalization that we're thinking of in terms of personalizing the progress of the education, right? When I talk to personalization, I'm talking about gaming as well within it, right? Essentially identifying this their behavior or their interests, right? Psychologically. So in terms of delivering the right digital environment or solution, that's the key part, right? So there's a dime a dozen of solution that actually provided digitalization of the school environment, but a personalized digitalization of the environment, I think I haven't seen any of that as well, right? So that's what we're striving for right now.
Great. And the 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 final, if not the most interesting question I have for you is, what is one of your key business ambitions that you're hoping to achieve through working with Microsoft, through working with the Highway to 100 Unicorns program?
Definitely. I think the biggest key ambition for us is to go towards conquering the Southeast Asia, right? So this is going big from just Indonesian market towards the Southeast Asia market, and then Microsoft or Highway as well have helped us open that door. Especially we are right now collaborating to integrate with teams, right? And by doing so, we don't have to actually localize our platform. We have to a certain degree in terms of the languages and so on and so forth, but essentially the presence is already there. Microsoft has existence or have presence all over Southeast Asia, and then when we actually integrate with team, we can be there right away as soon as we integrate with Microsoft, right? So essentially, we can start selling in Philippines or Thailand just from the integration alone. So that's something that is beyond our comprehension before. So that's something that we are looking forward as well.
Yeah, the expansion into the other markets, it's going to be a
Yeah,
really exciting time.
definitely, definitely. And with the help of Microsoft, will be exciting and more easier time for us to do so.
Great. Well, thank you for chatting with me today.
Likewise.
I have really enjoyed it, and everyone, go and check out GREDU, go and check out your startup, and we'll chat soon, I'm sure.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.